had a taste of leadership today, just running a little meeting for the crew at work, and I had a realization about myself. I've been saying over and over again that I don't want to manage people because management just, it doesn't feel right to me. It doesn't feel like my superpower. I don't want to tell people what to do. I don't want to organize people. I definitely don't want to do a whole bunch of administrative tasks. But during this meeting, I realized I'm quite capable of facilitating experiences. And one of the things that we discussed in the meeting was training. And without even a second thought, I put my hand up and said, I would like to facilitate training. It's one of those moments where it's already come out of your mouth, and then you're as surprised as everybody else that you've volunteered that. But I was sure about it. Like, even though it came out impulsively, I was like, yeah, right on, Kai, do some training. And by the end of that discussion, we're already, like, opportunities are emerging, of course, like they were always there, and now we've just connected those dots. And that's kind of perfect for me, because through this process of doing video diaries where I'm expressing what I'm thinking and feeling in the present moment, I've become really good at communication. And I've been looking for a way to apply it that's actually profitable, that I can capitalize on it and I can make a living with, and I can, create a more sustainable life for myself, have abundance, all of those nice things. So here it is. And another thing that I've been doing is Toastmasters, which is just a public speaking club where you go and everybody gets a chance to do some public speaking. Everybody's at all different skill levels, all different confidence levels. Some people are absolutely terrified to stand up and do an introduction like, hey, my name is. And then some people are so confident it's not funny, and they're the people that are able to give clear evaluations and tips and support to help people better themselves and learn new things. So yeah, I've been pretty clear about the fact that communication is my domain of mastery. This is what I want to become extraordinary at. But for a long time, I feel like I've been dabbling. I've been dabbling with this video diary process. I've just been enjoying not having any pressure and just practicing letting my thoughts and feelings flow out and be articulated live. But when I started Toastmasters, I really started to feel like when I'm not in control, or like when somebody else is deciding the parameters of how this communication is going to take place, it brings something out of me. Like, I haven't been challenging myself enough by dabbling in things that I just enjoy. And yeah, I actually get butterflies, and I get like rapid heartbeat and sweaty palms, and I stutter, and all kinds of things happen in front of 6 people at a Toastmasters event that would never happen in any other situation where I'm communicating. And it's just because it's a challenging environment. It's designed to push you a little bit beyond where you're comfortable for everybody. And it's like, it's pretty cool how it works. Like, and I think today in the meeting as well, like, it's not normal for me to be in front of my co-workers and my team in a leadership role and be like directing what's going on. And actually Toastmasters gives me more butterflies and more rapid heartbeat and, sweaty palms and stuff than the meeting, because I'm more comfortable with the people that I know better. But it was still like, I felt that stretching, like I felt like I was being challenged, and I felt like I was growing. And that was one of the things that I said I enjoyed most about the last Toastmasters. Like, I feel like we just laughed all night, like it was just fun, but at the end of it I felt like I'd grown. So that's what I want more of. And I've had a few like tastes of this experience, so now I know what I'm looking for. And I think I might have opportunities to facilitate some kind of training, and then that's really going to put me on the spot because people are expecting value. Like, I know maybe some people who watch these videos like this are expecting value, but I don't have that expectation on myself. Like, I'm just here to document literally what I'm thinking and feeling. Like, there's no pressure on me at all anymore. And yeah, like, I've done hundreds of these, but in a new situation where, okay, I think actually this is the thing that really makes it real. When you've only got, the thing that really gets me going is when you've only got 2 minutes or 6 minutes, you've got this time limit. You've got a time limit, so you've got to be more precise and deliberate and conscious of how you utilize that time. Because these video journals, I literally have all the time in the world. Like, I could sit here and talk for an hour if I wanted to, and half of it could just be me talking about thinking about thinking, and, you know, just gibberish really that doesn't hold any real value. It's a totally different experience to when you've got 6 minutes to talk about this, and you've got to be as precise and articulate as possible. That's the challenge that's been triggering off this excitement in me. It's really cool that the word excitement came out instead of fear. It is excitement. Like, the heartbeat and the butterflies and the sweaty palms is excitement. It's actually not fear. And I've really been thriving on the challenges. So what is coming up for me right now is I don't want to wait for the opportunity through employment to do some kind of training, or I don't want to wait like for Toastmasters every fortnight. Like, I'm starting to crave this. I want to find more of this. I want to find more ways to put myself in situations that make me feel like this. And I think, of course, I could do it with video content. I could just make myself an exercise where I need to speak for 6 minutes about something really precise and all of that. But it doesn't quite simulate the experience of being put on the spot in front of a group of real people and just having to go for it. I'm really starting to crave the audience. Like, I want a real audience. And then that immediately I'm thinking, like, I should be doing audiences. Like, I should start creating some kind of way that I end up in front of people who are expecting value, expecting me to deliver a precise and a clear message that's going to be of benefit to them in some way. That's what's really going to help me grow in this chosen pursuit. There's other things that I'm really good at. There's other things that I'm passionate about and I'm developing. Like, I'm still doing videography and I'm still doing like mental health. I'm still learning holographic kinetics and all these things, but the communication thing, it's my superpower. And the crazy thing about it is it wasn't. If I could go back in time and make a different decision based on what I know now, or anybody who's watching this, I would suggest that you choose a domain of mastery that you already have some kind of inherent gift with. But the reason why I chose communication was because I was absolutely terrible at it, and nobody could understand a thing that I was saying, and my thoughts were so disorganized, and I just wasn't able to express myself very well. So I decided that was going to be the thing that I was going to get really good at. I'm not the first person in history to do this. There's been quite a few famous orators who started out totally unable to utter a phrase in front of another human being. And then, that was the motivation to practice and become great. Maybe it's good, but like, if you got something that you're already good at, invest in that. Like, I feel like you could develop so much more. Maybe choose one of each. Like, I guess for me, video and photography was something that I was already quite good at. So I was able to cruise along and develop that skill and those abilities. But I also needed a challenge. Like, I needed something that I was really terrible at. That's what actually lit the fire under my ass to continue to work on myself. But that's just a part of my personality throughout my life. Like, I've always wanted something more challenging. I've wanted obstacles to overcome. I've sort of started to let that go now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. But at the same time, communication is no longer this scary, challenging thing. Now I'm excited about it. So even though that part of my personality is kind of laid to rest, like I'm no longer looking for obstacles to overcome to prove myself, I can still continue on this path to developing mastery over communication and video and photography and all these things that I'm passionate about. Like, you know, sometimes in life there's something got you here, but it's not going to take you any further. And for me, it was that, like, proving myself and overcoming obstacles thing. Now I'm just going to focus on my strengths. I'm going to focus on what I'm already good at and what I'm already passionate about. The thing about when people are trying to figure out, like, what can we do with you? Like, when I'm in careers and stuff, like in my career, okay, so employment, I show potential, I show leadership skills, I show intelligence, I show, like, all of my abilities. And basically any role that I enter into, management is always like, what can we do with you? How can we capitalize on, like, your skills and abilities? And in the past I've always been like, I'm not interested. Like, I don't want to progress. I don't want to go to higher levels in the company, because I used to have this idea that you go from employee to, like, management, and it was very like this or that. That's how I was thinking. But in new roles that I've had, I've started to realize that was a limiting belief that I was holding, and there's so many different directions that I could go in and so many different ways that I can contribute to a company. And actually, management's probably the last thing in the world that would be great. Like, I could get paid far more to contribute in much more creative ways. I'm a creative thinker. That's why I kept saying no to management and administrative roles. Like, and the thing that happens when I do reject advancement and responsibility is that means that I'm forever going to stay at the bottom rung of the ladder. I'm always just going to be a part of the team, and I'm going to be contributing massively at the bottom of this ladder, and I'm going to, like, my whole team around me is going to be thriving, and, you know, like, everybody that I'm interacting with is going to get lots of benefit. But one thing that my manager did say to me is, like, you could be benefiting, like, the people that you're interacting with now, but if you did accept the advancement and the responsibility, then you could impact far more people. And again, I had this resistance. I was like, but I want to be deeply involved with people, and I want to see them through their challenges, because it's like mental health work, right? And I really feel deeply about the people that I work with, and I'm passionate about seeing them evolve. So another thing that stops me from advancing is thinking, like, I'm not going to be so involved anymore. I'm going to miss out on these really deep experiences and observing this growth. But I no longer think that's true either. And I'm also starting to feel that I'm more beneficial, like, I'm as beneficial to the people that I work with as colleagues as well. Like, there's so many different ways that I can contribute. And this is a huge, like, moment for me where this is all just falling into place in my awareness, and I'm just going, wow, like, there's so much more possibility than just, like, be at the bottom of the ladder or start to climb this management ladder that doesn't interest me. So what am I going to do with all of these insights? I don't know. This is just what is occurring now. Of course, I'll go away later and I'll reflect on this, contemplate it, and I'll come to some conclusions. But we don't need to come to the conclusions in the video. That's the beauty of this. Sometimes a more open dialogue where I'm just exploring thoughts and feelings and I'm not coming to any conclusions also invites the viewer to go through a similar process with themselves. If I was just here telling you, this is how you want to live your life, you're going to want to do this, 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 and this, it's not really practical. I know, like, a lot of people, because we have access to so much information these days, it's easy to want to emulate others. Like, just look at their life. What are they eating? How are they training? What are they reading? Like, I'm just going to be just like them. But what you're forgetting is there are a lot of steps and progressions between who that person is now and who they were in the past. And that's one of the cool things about these video journals. You can see a little bit of that process, because like I haven't just started making content once I figured it all out. Like I don't think I ever will figure it out. That's why it's being delivered in this fashion. I'm never going to be coming on here saying like, this is the answer to everything. Sometimes I do record some content and I feel like I'm kind of dictating a little bit, or I'm pretty firm in my beliefs about this is really true and correct, and this is the path that you want to walk, this is what you want to understand. But you can always take it with a grain of salt, take it or leave it. Like, you don't have to subscribe to everything. You don't have to subscribe to anything. I invite you and I encourage you to have your own insights and even challenge different things that I'm expressing in these videos. I mean, you don't have to directly get in the comments below and just tell me all the reasons that I'm wrong. Probably not going to engage with that, but just privately on your own journey, like, yeah, think for yourself, of course. Hopefully, as you watch these, it does create a space to contemplate more deeply things that are relatable, you know, like not every single video is gonna resonate, and that's okay. But if this one does, please share it with anybody else you know who may benefit from it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Leave your comments down below. I would love to hear what is emerging in your awareness while I'm sharing what's emerging in my awareness. And check out kylives.com if you feel so inclined.